I was a kid, I was a musician. I was in a lot of groups. I was in band, and I was in brass bands, and I was in jazz band at school, and I was in the Columbus Youth Jazz Orchestra, which is a audition thing, and I honestly feel like I barely belong there. There were a bunch of really talented musicians, and also me in that group. But one summer, the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, I don't know if we got a grant or what exactly happened, but we went on a tour. We went on a tour in Italy. Literally a bunch of high schoolers, basically a bunch of like juniors and seniors and maybe a couple sophomores, flew to Italy and rode around in a bus playing jazz at cool places. And one of the places we played was a monastery. And it was pretty. It was very cool. It was in the rolling hills somewhere in the north of Italy. And we like set up and played the gig, and it was super nice. We played in the middle courtyard. It was sort of like a courtyard in the center of this big monastery building. And we were packing up, and the courtyard had this stupid wall around it, right? And we had to like carry everything by hand down to the buses, and it took a long time. And the wall only had one cutout. So like there were people who would watch us play who were milling around doing whatever. And we were just trying to get our crap onto the bus so we could head out and go get some dinner, whatever. And I was like carrying stuff, waiting for people. It took forever to go back and forth through this one little hole in the wall. And I had this idea. I was like, what if I just jump over the wall? I'm a young lad. It's maybe a knee-high wall. It's like a stone wall, super old. This monastery was centuries old. I don't know. I didn't know any details about it. It's just an old monastery that was now like a vineyard or something. And I was like, I can hop this. It's so low. And I couldn't, and it didn't go well. I'm just going to cut right to it. I tried to hop over while carrying my trombone, and I literally was like a couple inches short. I did that thing where I tried to like hop one leg up and over. My toe hit the front of the wall, and instead of just like falling down and like, oh, haha, you know, idiot, I fell shin first right onto the centuries old, very like eroded and jagged rock stone wall thing. And I fell literally onto the point of the pointiest little piece of shit on the wall, and it stabbed through my shin, through my pants, through my shin, all the way down to bone.
Oh, yuck.
There was a hole. It wasn't like a cut. There was a hole like someone had taken a little like sample coring thing where you core dirt out of the ground.
Oh, no, don't describe it like that.
Cored a hole out of my shin. You could see bone.
Oh.
And it was a solid half-inch around.
Oh, wow.
And so I had pants on. I had long pants on. So I didn't know this at first, but I did this. I tripped and fell on my leg and then kind of fell over, and everyone was like, ha ha. And I was like, God, fucking ow, shoot. And stood up, and I thought I was totally fine. And then I looked down, and my entire pant leg was just blood red, like immediately soaked with blood. Not like, oh no, I'm bleeding. Like I looked down and thought for a second and was like, ooh. And then felt immediately like, oh, lightheaded, like losing too much blood, gonna pass out.
Oh, no.
I slumped down against the wall, and I'm just sort of like, hey, blood, guys, blood. Just a reminder of the setting. It's a centuries old, you know, a couple hundred years old monastery in the middle of the hills. We're not in a city. We're not near a hospital or anything. It's a bunch of high school kids and our band leader and his girlfriend at the time, who was like a nurse, I think. She did something medical. I don't remember what. She may have been like an x-ray tech or a nurse. I'm not 100% clear. Don't remember. She was kind of there as like our, you know, medical person, but she didn't have stuff with her. Like she was just hanging out. But it's this place. It's a monastery. I keep saying it's a monastery. There were, I don't know why they were there. There were some kind of nuns there. There were some kind of, I don't know if they were caretakers or what.
Medical nuns.
But like I'm on the ground, and our nurse is kind of like, whoa. Shit.
Whoa.
Like, oh man, that's a big hole in your leg.
Look at that. What are that?
Kind of. Like she didn't have any, you know, she had like Band-Aids or something, and I was like, that's more than a Band-Aid probably. And she eventually, after a minute where I'm kind of woozy and I feel like I'm gonna pass out, she looks around and gets the attention of one of like the caretaker nun women who is there. And they speak mostly Italian, but she sort of got her and was like, look, blood. And the lady was like, oh, and all the nuns burst into a flurry of action. And it was like, nuns getting sheets, nuns getting clean towels, nuns getting buckets of water, and they all run around and come over. And
Please tell me they blew a whistle before this, like they all took one look at him.
they might as well have. The one that came over and looked at she kind of came over very calmly, and was like, what do you want? And then looked and saw my leg and was like,